Hello again, students, and welcome again to Miss Bullock's Flipped Classroom. Today our lesson is going to be on Week 11 SAT and ACT vocabulary words. So let's go ahead and look at our I Cans. So our I Cans for this week's words are: I can, of course, learn my new vocabulary words. I can study to be ready for the vocabulary game. I can study for my quiz, and I can get 100 on my vocabulary quiz at the end of the week. Of course, everything below the squiggly line is stuff that you'll have to do on your own, but you're very capable. So let's go ahead and begin with our words. So today's first word is abdicate. Abdicate means to resign or to quit. A characteristic of this is that someone left because they wanted to, not because they had to. So, an example from my life, and again, remember you're using examples from your lives as well, would be the Pope before this one. He left because he was sick and he felt he could no longer do the job. So he resigned so that the new Pope could take over. Someone who has absolutely not abdicated would be President Barack Obama. He has chosen to stay so that he can continue what his work has been. Our next word for this week is aberration. I'll say that one again. I know it's difficult. Aberration. So an aberration is something that is unusual. So some characteristics of something that would be an aberration would be that it was strange. And it's not mundane or prosaic. Of course, those two vocabulary words that we've had in the past. So it is definitely not usual. So some things that would be aberrations would be flying elephants or Mr. Lopez with long hair. Some things that might be not aberrations, something that would be mundane or prosaic and happen all the time, would be brushing my teeth or taking a shower. The next word for the week is abject. Abject means miserable situation. So, of course, a miserable situation is going to be terrible or perhaps sad, but very bad. So, some examples of abject situations would be poverty or starvation. Some non-examples, some things that would actually be completely wonderful and fun, would be eating cake or winning the lottery. Woohoo! Our next word for the week is abolish. You've probably heard this one before, at least in your history classes. Abolish means to do away with. So it's going to get rid of, stop, or end something. So some examples of things that have been abolished, they've been stopped and done away with, would be slavery, racial laws, and sexist laws. Some things that have not been done away with would be the Affordable Health Care Act. Many of you probably know that as Obamacare, as well as the Civil Rights Movement. Those two things continue today. Let's get the rest of our words for this week. Our next word is abridge. Abridge means to shorten. So it, of course, makes it smaller. Movies are abridged. Remember when you saw the Hunger Games and you were upset because so much stuff was taken out? Or perhaps To Kill a Mockingbird and you were upset because so many things were removed. That was abridged. So a non-example of something abridged would be the actual books. The actual books were not abridged. They had everything in it. Our next word for this week is accent. This is not the accent that you speak with. This accent means to put emphasis on something, okay? So it stresses it and it makes you pay attention to it. So some examples of accents would be like accent pillows. On a couch, you see those pillows, and because they're not part of the couch, they sit on top of it. Shoes. Shoes often accent your look. And colors. Definitely if you're wearing all black or all white and you throw in red shoes, that's going to accent. It's going to draw attention to it. Something that is completely not accented would be camouflage. Camouflage is made specifically to blend in, so that's the opposite of accent. Our next word for this week is accolade. Accolade means an award or praise. So, surely enough, it means you've done a good or a nice job and people liked it. So, accolades or awards would be Oscars, Emmys, MTV, VMAs, or even the stamp that I put on your vocab quizzes when you get 100. So, something that's not an accolade would be like playing a game. Just because you're playing a game, that doesn't mean you get an award. Our next word for this week is acquiesce. That's going to be a hard one to spell, I know. I'll say it again for you as well. Acquiesce. To acquiesce means to agree to. So you do it, but it's not your idea. You're agreeing to it, but you're not necessarily happy about it. You're doing something that you don't want to do. That would be an example of acquiescing. Like your parents say, take out the garbage. You don't really feel like taking out the garbage, but you acquiesce and agree to do it. Now, non-examples of acquiesce would be saying no or simply refusing. That would completely be the opposite. Alrighty, our next word for the week is acumen. Acumen. Acumen means intelligence or understanding. So it can be either high or it can be low. Okay, an example of someone who has low acumen would be Wilby. We all know he's got some special things about him and he doesn't understand things most of the time. Stephen Hawkins, however, has a high acumen. He's one of the smartest men on earth and has won Nobel Prizes, so he's got a high acumen. Now, things that are not examples of acumen would be education or knowledge. You can still have intelligence or understanding without having education or knowledge. Alrighty, we're ready for our last word of the week. Yay! It's affable. Affable means friendly. So, someone who is affable is going to be nice, kind, and not stuck up. A perfect example of someone who is affable is Murphy. Murphy loves everyone. He's there to definitely make sure that you pet him because he loves you, and he would like to lick you because he loves you. He's very friendly. A non-example would be my neighbor's dog, and you can see my drawing here about how my neighbor's dog usually looks. He barks, he growls, he's mean. He is not a friendly dog, so he is definitely not affable. Okay, those are our words for the week. So make sure that you study and make sure you're ready for the game on Monday. And we'll see you soon. Take care.